Welcome to the Heart of Melbourne Cardiology Quick Q&A. Number 1. Benefits of His bundle pacing with Dr. Vivek Mutha.
His bundle pacing or physiological pacing is another way to pace the heart. It is thought to be better and more physiological and more natural and mimics the way electricity normally goes down, electrical conduction pathways down the heart.
Is it better than normal pacing?
Yes, there is some evidence that it is better, and in some circumstances it could be better than normal pacing. But I'll give you an analogy. Imagine sitting in a large room with at least 3 rows of downlights. Imagine the power goes out. The room is dark. If you were doing traditional pacing, you would put a large lamp in one of the walls, and the room or the heart is expected to cope with one electricity source, and there will be shadows everywhere. Whereas if you were to do physiological pacing, an analogy would be to go into the wiring of that room and connect an alternate electrical source to the wiring of the room, so all the downlights work exactly the same as they used to. So what it leads to, in real terms, is all parts of the heart getting electricity at the same time, which means all parts of the heart contract at the same time, which means, in turn, there is less delay between the right and the left, and there is less dysynchrony. We know that a percentage of patients getting traditional pacing develop traditional right ventricular septal pacing, get pacing-induced cardiomyopathy, which is pacing-induced weakness of the heart. These patients often require an upgrade to a left ventricular lead, potentially doing a His bundle pacing in people who need to use pacing in ventricle more than 40% can avoid such complications.
Is HBP better than the usual right ventricular pacing to prevent pacing-induced heart failure?
Yes, that's right, because the heart has got its own electrical supply. Starts with the sinoatrial node at the top, which then goes on to AV or atrioventricular node in the middle, and from there we get 3 fibers: left anterior bundle, left posterior bundle, and right bundle, taking electricity from top to bottom. These fibers act as highways of the heart and conduct electricity very fast from top to bottom, whereas the speed of conduction in muscles of the heart is at least 10 times slower than those electrical fibers. So theoretically, if you were pacing in those fibers, you will get electricity quickly and rapidly to all parts of the heart, which means all parts of the heart contract at the same time, so that there is no ventricular dysynchrony, which means you get less chances of getting heart failure. In fact, we know in selected patients who have got left bundle branch block and heart failure, early research shows that his pacing or left bundle pacing fares better or similar than left ventricular lead.
His bundle pacing is still gaining traction in Melbourne. Is this partly due to the role of specialised equipment?
If you are doing physiological pacing with the aid of specialized electrophysiological equipment and mapping or monitoring, then you can often achieve better outcomes and get a very physiologic, normal-looking tracing of the heart.
Do you do His bundle pacing at the Heart of Melbourne?
I have been an early adopter of physiological pacing, having done my first case in 2017. As with any new technology, there is a learning curve, and all of my 2018 was spent learning and perfecting the technique. 80 to 90% of pacemakers I do are physiological pacing.